Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and this is On the Hill, where we talk all things biblical womanhood, homemaking, inner healing, and intentional living. On today's video, we are going to discuss the topic of why the home. I recorded another video where I discussed, just my journey of becoming a stay-at-home mom. I discussed some tips, some tricks, and just some thoughts more so. It wasn't really like a sit down, like point 1, point 2, point 3 video, but just some overall thoughts. And while I was talking, this video kind of came into my mind about just really discussing the importance of the home. Now, I do understand that people are in different places. There are some people that are working while they are home. There are people that are solely focused on the home. And maybe there are some people that are in the workforce that desire to be home. So wherever you find yourself on this spectrum, it's really just for the woman that has the question of like, why the home? Why is the home so important? Why are people being called to the home? I think we're in a time where a lot of people are waking up and they're like, man, I want to be home. Right? Like they're having a desire to slow down. They're having a desire to be more present and be more intentional and really to just pour all of their effort or majority of their effort into their home while maybe still doing some other things on the side or in addition to it, right? But like there's this emerging desire of the home, and I just want to share some of my thoughts around that in this video. I shared it recently on an Instagram post how I think that we are in a time where people are understanding like the times that we're in, right? Just in the world in general. And my why for being home with my children is that the Lord had really laid it on my heart. And one thing he had said to me was like, I don't want anyone or anything to have more influence over your children than you do, right? And y'all, we have to understand, especially for me, like as a therapist, I've worked with children, adults, like I've worked with people of all age ranges, right? And especially with working with children and just with people in general, the truth that you come down to is that like it starts in the home. It starts in the home, y'all. Like in whatever capacity I have worked with a person in, it always came down to the home. This is why when I work as a therapist with people, a lot of the work that we do, a bulk of the work that we do up front is really unpacking what childhood was like, right? I share, more things around inner healing and therapy and just inner healing work on social media. But we understand that 95 to 90% of the lives that we live is from our subconscious mind. We have two minds. We have the conscious and we have the subconscious. Subconscious meaning it is under the conscious, right? Majority of the things that we do, it's not from a conscious state of being, a lot of us at least, right? Like you have to train yourself to live from a more conscious state of mind. Most of us, for majority of our lives, are on autopilot. We are living based off of what we know, and our subconscious is primarily cultivated and shaped by our earlier years in life, by our childhood, right? So if 95 to 99% of the things that we do, our behaviors, our patterns, our triggers, all of that stuff comes from our subconscious, which is being stemmed and shaped and cultivated, or is stemmed, shaped, and cultivated from our earlier years in life, our childhood, that means that 99% of what we are doing, it's based off of our childhood, right? Like if you really sit and think about that, I always say like, so essentially we're adults, like we look like adults walking around, but really it's children in an adult body trying to figure life out. Right? And when you have that understanding, I think it takes your approach to the home to a whole new level. The way that you choose to approach, how you cultivate your children, what's the tone that you're using in your home? How do you make them feel, right? I saw this other post on social media. It says it doesn't matter what your intent was. Like they don't remember the intent. They only remember how you made them feel. Right? And I'm throwing these different things out there because I'm hoping that any person that comes and looks at this video will understand like the importance of the home. You will understand the importance of the home. Like we can do all of these different things in the world. I can be the greatest psychotherapist. I can be the greatest womanhood coach. I can be the greatest X, Y, and Z. My husband can do all of the great things. But if we have failed our children, then I personally feel like we failed at life. We have failed at life. And I said this in another video, but I think it's so interesting. And I'm gonna go here, okay? I'm gonna go here, right? We'll go to work. We give our bosses everything. We give our jobs everything. And then we come home and we give our home the leftovers. And I'm not coming at anyone that works, because you can do it even as a stay-at-home mom. I work from home, I run our businesses from home, all of the things like that. And there are seasons and there are moments where I still have to catch myself because I'll be doing all of this work and I'll be getting all of these things done. And my children are pulling on me for my attention, and I'm like giving them the scraps, like I'm giving them the exhausted part of me, or I'm telling them not right now all the time. Granted, there are moments, there are seasons where I'm like, you know what, like give mommy 30 minutes to work on this activity, and then when I'm done, I'll play with you, right? Like that's different from not right now. Not right now. And that's been me. Not right now. I'm trying to do this, or I'm meeting them with frustration and irritation because they're interrupting me. They're inconveniencing me, right? And I said this in another video. They're not inconveniencing you. They're not inconveniencing us. They're not interrupting us, right? And so I'm not just coming at moms at work or moms that are outside of the home. Even for us that are in the home, we have to check ourselves as well, because it's easier for us, in my opinion, to do all of these other things, sitting there scrolling on social media all day, and you haven't even sat down and read a book with your child all day. Make it make sense, right? That goes for all of us. Like, I hope all of us can take something from this, right? Like, we will give everything and everyone else what it is that they need. And when it comes to our home, it's dirty. Laundry been sitting there for 2 weeks. Like, talking to myself too, right? You ain't gave your man none in over a week, right? Because you're so exhausted and burnt out from working and doing all of the things that you needed to do, that your cortisol levels are so high, your adrenaline is running. All you can focus on is the assignment that you need to get done. And your man up in there sexually starving, right? Speaking to myself too, like, trust me, I am not saying anything to y'all that I'm not saying to myself, right? I'm checking myself as well, right? Like, our home, we can do all of the things in the world. I can have this great ministry that, you know, pursuing biblical womanhood, right? Okay, like, check it out, right? Like, right? Pursuing biblical womanhood, like the best ministry, the best women's ministry ever. Okay, I'm just saying it, whatever. But no, I'm just joking. But no, it is a bomb ministry, right? But I can do all of the things I do to pour into these women and help them build their home. But if my home is neglected, then I failed. I failed, right? So the home is where it starts. The home is literally creating the next generation. Like, these children, this place, like, it's birthing something. What are you putting into it, right? And even if you don't have children or don't have children yet, right? What are you creating in your home? What is the atmosphere like, right? Is it clean, right? Do you have food in the fridge? Like, y'all ain't gonna lie. The other day, I feel so bad. I'm just gonna put myself out there, okay? Like, I'm gonna be completely transparent with y'all. I forgot what time of night it was or whatever. We had eaten earlier in the day, but I hadn't gone grocery shopping yet. I've been saying I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I'm gonna do a pickup, and I just haven't done it yet. And my husband opens the fridge and he's like, dang, ain't nothing in here to eat. What? I was sitting there like, my God. Oh my God. Not the woman of God ain't got no food in the fridge. And it's not because we don't have the money. I just haven't done it yet. I just haven't done it. Right? And he wasn't trying to be funny. He was just like, oh, dang, ain't nothing here to eat. How is that okay? But I'm posting content on social media. Okay. Come get me, Lord. Come get me. Right? I got time to meet with my clients. My fridge ain't stocked. Y'all, the home is where it starts. The home is where we are nurturing. Like, as women, as biblical, as feminine women, we are called to nurture. We are called to raise up, right? Like, we are called to feed and nourish. Like, these are the traits of a woman, of a feminine woman, right? We nourish our homes, our husbands, our children. How well are we doing in this area? How well are we doing? Ask yourself. You know what? Don't ask yourself, ask your husband, ask your children. And if you don't have a husband or children yet, that's okay. Ask your friends. How do they feel when they come into your home? Is it a place of hospitality? Or do they got to find a place to sit because there ain't nowhere to sit? How are we making people feel when they come into our home? I think I saw someone say it's like a sanctuary where people are coming to meet you. How are you meeting them? Right? Like, when I think about going into the presence of the Most High, like, it's the most beautiful, breathtaking experience ever. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. Are you creating that experience in your home? Are we creating that experience in our home? My hope, right? Like, my hope is that you are thinking and you are assessing. And this isn't about being perfect. I'm not talking about if you just had a baby and you're in the postpartum, like, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to navigate postpartum. I'm not, girl, go sit down. Go take a nap. Drink your soup and nourish your body. I'm not talking about you, right? Like, literally, like, you know, if this is for you, you know, like for me, like, as I'm talking, I'm like, okay, I know this is for me. If the shoe fit, wear it. Wear it. And this isn't about having a perfect home, right? I'm not talking about a lived-in home. Like sometimes I'm stressed. I'm like, the house is dirty. And my husband's like, girl, it's lived in. You got 3 kids. It's lived in. It's fine, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when it's just nasty and filthy and we got piles of laundry because we're choosing to prioritize everything else over taking care of our home. I'm not saying you can't do other things, but what I am saying is that home should be our priority. I think I heard it, I gave this analogy to someone else. It's like your tithes. You take out that 10% first, and then you handle your bills and do whatever else you need to do with the remainder of the money. And I'm not having a conversation about tithe and an offer. I'm not going there with y'all because people will be like, well, the tithe is not used how it used to be used. Regardless, the Most High called us to tithe, right? Whether you use it for the church or, for us, we didn't have a church home for a long time. We still really don't have a church home. So we put it in an account and we use it as the Most High leads us. So if we could meet a single mom who is in need, we could meet a homeless person, wherever. If we visit a church, we'll give. Like we put that money aside and we still use it to support the work of the Lord. It just may not be in a church. Do what you do with it. I don't care. My point is, right? You take that out first because it belongs to him, right? So whatever percentage that is for your home, you take that out first and you give that to your family first. And then everyone else, the job, the church, like everything else, they get what's left over. And that doesn't mean you give them the bare minimum, but it just means that your priorities are set in place. Your priorities are set as they should be, right? So I pray that this video, I hope it convicts a little bit because I'm convicted. Okay, so y'all be convicted with me. But I hope it also encourages you, right? Like this is not a like beat you down, you need to get yourself in order. Like, well, no, I mean, take it for what it is, right? Like sometimes we try to make people feel better. Like if it's convicting you and it's calling you to a place of get your house in order, amen, then get your house in order. Get your house in order. And for some of us, like this can also be on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like sometimes I'm so uptight about things in my home that I'm not creating an enjoyable experience for my husband and my children. You can be on the opposite end of the spectrum too. You could be so uptight, right, about the things of the home, like cooking the meal and, dusting and making sure everything is tidy, that your family doesn't even enjoy you as a person. You're annoying, like you're irritating, right? Because you're always nagging about all the toys on the floor, and you're always nagging about like if there's a dish in the sink, right? Your children are like, hey, come play with me, and you're like, oh, I can't because I need to bake. Oh, I can't because I need to do X, Y, and Z. I get it. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary for me to say to my children, hey, hold on a second. Mommy needs to do X, Y, and Z. But once I'm done, we can do this, right? That's different from y'all need to clean up. That ain't clean. And they don't put their whole heart. And I'm talking to myself because I be like that sometimes. Like it's clean, but it ain't clean how mama want it clean, right? And I'm working on it. But they'll clean up. And I'm like, y'all need to clean. And sometimes my husband will be like, they did clean. And I got to catch myself. And I'm like, you're right. They did. And I'll say to them, I'll be like, good job, y'all. Because it's just not perfect, right? It's not spotless. Like things are shifted a little bit. I need it straight. Like little things like that can still make your home unenjoyable for the people that abide in it, right? And so again, home is important. What are we creating? How are we pouring into our homes? Are we giving it the bare minimum? You know what you can do. You know what you are capable of. Again, I'm not talking to the pregnant mom that's just struggling and is sick right now, or the postpartum mom that just had a baby, right? Like I understand seasons, things get chaotic, but are we living in a place like this, like majority of the time, or is this just a season, right? You can assess yourself on how you are approaching your home. How can you do better in this place? Because home, like y'all, is where it's at. Home is where the heart is. Like we say that, but like really, it really is. It really is. So I pray that this video causes you to really assess and really say like, how am I showing up? And like I said, don't lie to yourself. If you feel like you might lie to yourself, ask the people around you. They'll tell you the truth. Ask your children, how am I doing? I asked my children, how am I doing? And my son told me one day, he was like, sometimes mommy gets a little frustrated too much. Okay. Don't fight. Don't try to defend yourself. But I'll be tired because I do it. I'm like, okay, just say okay. and take whatever you were going to say to them, take it back to the Lord and let him deal with you. Amen. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please share it, turn the notifications on so that you are notified when a new video is uploaded. And I hope y'all have a good one. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section.